Yeah, I want to talk about a few essential plants for a beginner garden to get incorporated because they're available, they're very strong, they're very pretty, they're very useful and beneficial for structure, aesthetic structure, and even the life cycles. So we have, this is one of just an absolutely fantastic plant, and here we have is the heath speedwell, and if you see where it's growing in the shade. This is like essentially woodland area in this type of setting. It's under the conifer trees. We have like the moss, and it's full shade, and it's nicely, you see it a lot of times on trail edgings, and it just looks so pretty. It's just a beautiful plant. It's got an olive fuzzy leafed, color. It's quite different from other speedwells. Veronica, you see the Veronicas at the garden store is quite removed from this, and I really like this. It's not utilized enough, and sacrilegiously it was labeled as an invasive non-native. This is an American heath speedwell. It is native, and it's definitely not a issue that we need Karens to eradicate, particularly in other people's gardens, which is what they were, charged to do, and they do. These are very busybody, noxious trolls. It's literally what they are trolls, because the kind of person whom is doing this is not the only window of obscenity that they deal in. They have quite, you'll see that the whole group is universal in all the evils. They're together. It's the same family. That's why I would designate them as trolls. And of course, these as trolls, my point being, they do censor you. They will censor you fully. All the people who are censoring really are trolls. That's what, it's the sign of a troll. If you censor people, you don't want to discuss anything rationally, logically. You're no longer part of the human family, you're part of the troll family. And I want to make that clear, important distinction, because it's not minor issues. This person's going to be cheeky, it's just for fun. No, it's not for fun. It's absolute malice. Because there was a coincidental, this is being shoved down your throat. This is a video producer, a YouTube maker, and her video is popping up as a recommended at the library, on my one account, on my other account. So all my accounts, and these are like virgin accounts and different, it's really just, the algorithms saying, hey, everybody's got to watch this. Everybody's got to learn from this person. And this person is what I call the 0-1 ungardeners. They are not gardeners at all, and absolutely, fully bad. So, I can explain like, what a garden structure is, what a tier 1, you're establishing a garden. Now, something that just comes out of the store and out of your wallet, I wouldn't really call that a garden. That's not really a garden, So if you just say, hey, I just plopped a whole bunch of soil, it came off the truck, I spent $30,000 at the nursery, and we plotted through, and that's a garden. I wouldn't really call that much of a garden as a display of wealth and, situational, concord. So you're agreeing with the land's, measure, and, I really find it to be, there's a few people on YouTube who are doing videos like that, and I don't find them to be such noxious people, or I think I enjoy their videos, and really, because there's so much differential in what can be done and how it can be done and why it could be done. I find it pleasant, but this I didn't find pleasant because it was, here, my point being with the heath speedwell, there was a very noxious troll who had destroyed many gardens I planted that were very nice and, full of great native diversity. A few, doctored plants, a few, just a sprinkling, a few non-natives, nothing causing any, calamitous upset. That would be untrue. No. You can say You can say anything about anything, but it's certainly heath speedwell is not displacing the world's balance, and particularly to mislabel it as a non-native invasive. That's really a foul work. And when it's the Rutgers Horticulture Society, that's a really malfeasant organization now. You see, these people are out of their depth. They're just noxious weeds. They are trolls. They are trolls of the highest order. And it's no surprise, academia, there they are. And it's funny because there was a listing of invasive species. They had a little little poster fold out and had all the pictures of all your, really got to get on it. These are the invasive weeds. And it was out of it was 20 plants. Only 2 of them were actually somewhat troublesome invasives. It was switchgrass and I think kudzu. I think those were the 2. But the rest of them were really just plants that I'm using, and one of them was the heath speedwell, which is not an invasive. Why did it show up on that list? As well, I was utilizing it in my gardens, and it was just charging the Karen brigade into action. They're gonna destroy your gardens anyway. This is just giving them a window of excuse. And I guarantee that the Rutgers, Horticultural Society was in commune with the Raritan Headwaters people, because she's the one who destroyed my gardens. And that's just an evil people. It's not like they're a little bit evil, they're fully evil. They're just completely over the top evil. It's not just, this incidental action that's, to be noted. If you turn on your news and you see all the great evils, they're 100% behind all of those, fully, zealously, and that's where they get their wealth from, because they're behind illicit structures. They're totally, really just, we call it a troll bridge. They want a concession because they're occupying that, and they want a gatekeeper, a trollish gatekeeper, and that's what they are. So the trolls are running our college, trolls are running our medical institutions, trolls are running our courthouses, and it's no longer justice for the people. It's just them. It's just the trolls' dominion, and it's real. It's not. I'm not saying it's just pictorial or I'm being facetious. It's so pronounced where this person made a video and specifically saying, oh, we got to get the speedwells. And there's a speedwell, it's called, I think, Ivy Leaf Speedwell. And this one, it comes up in February, March. It's really done in March. It finishes off in March. And it's here and there. It comes and goes. And it's actually, for the bumblebees, they appreciate, if they're up so early, a little bite to eat. They come and go, and it greens the land. It looks nice. It just grows a little. It only grows about 2 inches tall. It's not smothering anything. It's adding depth to this. It's not. I can't think it can overcrowd anything. I don't think there's anything it could overcrowd. It's just going to augment. It's an annual. It's an annual that grows in the tail end of winter. Very small. It does drop seeds, but it's pretty. It's the leaf structure, it's a little fuzzy, little maple leaf looking, speedwell. And it's got a little fuzzy, that tiny little blue flower. There's other speedwells that are, quite different actually, but general speedwell is they're very integrally good plants for the garden. That's a real garden. If you have speedwell incorporated in your garden, that's a real garden. If you consider speedwell as a weed, you're a commercial troll. You're a troll. And I just want to make that clear. Anybody who considers a speedwell as a weed is a troll. Just bottom line, fully. It's not something that we have to activate the Karens to get on top of. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if you want to move them, remove them, they're very easy to. None of these things are issues. Even the most, you think about things like. There are plants that are having, difficulty. And if you look on YouTube, that's really out of the league of the Karens. They don't even mess with them because that's too much work. They just do the things that are completely not a trouble at all. You can list 1,000 plants that are, And really, literally anything that grows